A Surprise for Gappy, Book 1 of the Young Vampire Adventures by Star Donovan. Illustrations by Anne Catherine Liu. Chapter 3, Startling News. When Cuthbert Grapple came home that evening, Mom called Gappy to come downstairs. His parents were sitting in the living room, and he went in and sat next to Dad on the couch. Mom was eyeing him with a funny look that made him feel somewhat uncomfortable, and Gappy could sense some tension in the room as if his parents had been arguing. He turned to look at his father. "Hey, Dad, did you hear what happened today at school?" "I sure did," Dad said, giving his son a quick hug. His mustache felt scratchy against Gappy's cheek. "It must have been pretty scary, huh? Now I want you to listen carefully, Gappy, because Mom and I have to talk to you about something very important." Said Mom. She stood up and shook her head at Dad and began pacing as if she were worried about something. Gappy looked at her. "I'm not sick, am I? The doctor said I was fine." "No, you're not sick, Gappy," she said, But you know how you were feeling so hungry and dizzy?" Dad interrupted. "Well, that's what we have to talk to you about." Gappy sat up straight. This sounded like serious stuff and a bit scary. Dad coughed and cleared his throat. Mom stopped pacing for a moment and put her hands on her hips. "Bert," she said, "do you really think we ought to do this now? I mean, what if it's a false alarm? Maybe we should wait and see." "No, Liv," Dad said. "We should tell him now. I think it's time. I think it's starting to happen." This all sounded very mysterious to Gappy. "What, Dad?" he asked. "What's starting to happen?" Dad shifted on the couch to get more comfortable. "Well, let's see. How should I say this? Okay, well, Gappy bounced on the couch with impatience, jiggling Dad up and down. "Come on, Dad, spit it out. I can take it." "I hope so," Mom murmured very softly to herself. Dad frowned at her, then took a deep breath and cleared his throat once more. "Okay, here goes, Gappy. Have you ever heard of vampires?" This was so different from what Gappy was expecting Dad to say that he just gawked at his parents. They looked back at him expectantly. After a few minutes at staring at one another, Gappy realized his dad actually did want an answer to his odd question. So he said, "Yeah, sure, Dad. Vampires are bad people in stories who suck people's blood to stay alive." "Well, maybe in the olden days they were bad," said Dad. "But this is the 21st century, and vampires have come a long way since then. They're not all bad nowadays." "Oh, Dad," Gappy interrupted, but his father held up his hand for him to keep quiet. "I know most people think they are just scary stories," he continued, "but there really are vampires." "No, there aren't," Gappy laughed. "That's silly, Dad. They're just stories. Mom, tell Dad he's talking crazy." He looked at their serious faces and stamped his foot in frustration. "And why are we talking about vampires anyway? What's that got to do with anything?" Mom pushed back a long strand of silky black hair behind her ear. "This is very important, Gappy," she said. "Dad's not joking." "Right," Dad said. "I know it sounds crazy and can't possibly be true, but there really are vampires. And what's more, Mom and I are vampires, and it looks like you are too." Visit Gappy at www.gappy.tv.